Team Pixel in Pixel Boy is back today, ladies and gentlemen. It started with the chonk bezel, and then it moved into the chonk notch. And finally today we get to move into the chonk camera module. It's big for the sake of they just decided to make it big, and I'm gonna be unboxing the cheapest phone I've reviewed on this channel, I think ever? I can't recall a time I've actually unboxed a phone this affordable, but all memes and sarcasm aside, I'm actually very curious about this phone, okay? I've never reviewed or seen Google get this dang cheap and at the same time offer so much hardware in one singular package, you know. Still rocking the headphone jack in 2020. Ooh, look at that. I hope you like this color, which is basic, you know, matte black, because that's pretty much the only color it comes in, and man, that camera module looks much bigger in person than it did in all of the pictures. Turning around to the front, we see this massive display with the camera bump up there. Not bump, camera hole. There's a difference there. Sorry, I can't get this thing off my mind. We're gonna peel a little bit of plastic off the front here, and whoa, okay. You know what? I'm so used to big phones, this one feels a little bit more manageable and comfortable, and the feel of it is good. Okay, I can tell right off the bat this is plastic on the back. That's what you should expect from a phone of this price point, but still feels pretty solid. I'm not really feeling much cracks or anything or popping when I'm pushing around with it. We'll see if some 100-degree weather changes that, but buttons feel super loud actually. Very clicky buttons, and we've got the white power button on the side. Wouldn't be Google without their specifically colored power buttons, but I'm kind of happy that there's only one color option, you know, because that makes manufacturing cheaper, and that's probably how they're able to lower the price so much. Got the fingerprint reader on the back. This is a very clean look, by the way, instead of having that dual frosted back that they've had for so many years. They just went simple, they just went easy with it, and that's pretty good to say. Though I must add, I could be imagining something because I saw this on a few of the Pixel 3a models out there, but these speaker and microphone things don't look aligned. It almost looks a little asymmetrical or misaligned or something like that, but who cares? It's $350. Let's get the rest of this crap off my lap and power this bad boy up, because I want to see what this display looks like. It's impressive that they can get an OLED display that's this edge to edge comparative to, you know, previous Pixel phones, which never really had a screen to body ratio that looks this good, and man, that looks really nice, actually. I mean, there's just a tiny bit of a chin at the bottom, but really very much hard to notice, and the fact that this is what a $350 phone can look like in today's world and be available to the US market, that's honestly quite impressive. We still got the headphone jack, man, they're still rocking it. If Google was looking for a way to kill the flagship sales of their phones, this is how you do it. You bring all of the features people want to the cheap phone and kind of bring a bunch of gimmicky features to the expensive phone. So, oh wow. Look at all the pretty colors on the front too. Okay, we're setting it up. I did misspeak during my video about the Pixel 4a. I apologize. It does have stereo speakers, which is good. I'm glad to see that. And I think I can already feel some pretty satisfying taptic feedback just pressing on the display and interacting with the keyboard. That feels really good, actually. It doesn't feel cheap. It doesn't feel like they compromised on the feedback when it comes to the haptics. Oh, and since psoriasis is gone, I can actually set up the fingerprint reader. I can try this for once. First time setting up and probably successfully using a fingerprint reader with a Pixel device. And there you have it. We're right on the home screen with gesture control, of course. We can swipe up to access all these apps. Things feel very, very fluid. And these little corners you can swipe up with to activate the Google Assistant, which is kind of nice. So this looks really, really nice. This looks clean. And of course, before we do anything, we gotta try some picture taking here. Okay, that's the most important thing. So making it forward facing. Ooh, that's what I look like. You guys have been looking at this the whole time. I apologize. I am going to switch it to portrait because, so portrait punches in just a little bit. Hope it can handle all of this crazy hair today. So I'm gonna just try one here. Oh God, that looks awful. Not the photo, just me in particular. And portrait mode's doing a pretty good job masking out all that complicated hair. That's cool to see. That is a fairly impressive looking photo from a phone this affordable. I could see a ton of people wanting to buy this one just out of the fact that this thing phone costs under $400 even with sales tax. The iPhone SE can't even really say that. Sure, the Snapdragon chip isn't necessarily as fast, and you might not get as many software updates as the iPhone SE, but that screen does not scream budget. This screen looks really, really premium and high-end, especially given how small the bezels are for what you're paying for this phone. So I honestly am quite impressed by this. And oh yeah, you get 128 gigs by default. I think that's the only storage option, so if you want more than that, I guess you're gonna have to live with cloud features and that kind of thing. But I'm excited to test this out. I want to see how the battery does. I'm glad it has NFC, because certain $1,400 phones don't have that these days. But you know, this plastic on the back does feel a little bit cheap, but honestly, it doesn't collect that many fingerprints compared to most glossy backed phones that have glass and everything like that. I'm wiping my fingers on the back and it collects a little bit of oil and stuff, but for the most part you can kind of wipe it all off, and that is a very clean look to it. I kind of dig this design, and I wish, you know, more phones could be this minimal, this clean. So I'm not in love with this button placement. I've used other Androids before that kind of put the volume and the power next to each other like that, but it's not the end of the world. Headphone jack still on the top, which I've brought up with pretty much every single Pixel I've reviewed that still has the headphone jack. To me, it's more inconvenient because when you put in headphones there, you now have to put in the phone kind of backwards in your pocket instead of, you know, putting it downward like this, which the fingerprint reader allows for. They still won't follow my advice on that one, but I'm happy to see Google is actually taking my advice on just kind of leaning more into the affordable market, focusing on the budget stuff. And for those reasons, I think this is their best one yet. I think this one's pretty awesome. And hilariously, I think it's also the only phone they're making right now, because the Pixel 4 has been discontinued. They're not making the Pixel 3a, and they have yet to announce the 4a XL or the Pixel 5 5G, all these stupid names they gotta come up with, and I'm gonna have to remember for my videos, but those should be coming later this month or October. But until then, this is the only phone you can buy to get into Team Pixel, unless you go through third parties and that kind of thing. But yeah, seems pretty awesome. I know I'm not the first person to get my hands on one of these things, because all the other YouTubers who are a part of the real Team Pixel got them early. I've been kicked out. I'm now a Team Pixel fellow, so I had to order this just like everybody and pay my own money. But oh well, wasn't much money in the first place. And let me know what you guys think of Google's cheapest Pixel yet by hitting me up over on Twitter. Join my Discord. Let's chat more about it there. This is your Pixel Sheep here, and I'll see you guys in the next one.